What's going on Facebook? What's going on YouTube? I appreciate you guys so much. I want to talk about today a few things. I got a few stories that I have in my hand, but the main story is The Intercept, which is a publication. They access something called FOIA. I believe it's Freedom of Information Act, where they do a lawsuit and then sometimes they win or lose. And if they win, the government reveals documents that they haven't previously. Those got revealed, and Richard Ebright, he's a famous infectious disease expert. He pretty much came out and pushed these to an even bigger audience and said that he thinks that certain people have been untruthful about their role in the funding of certain stuff at the Wuhan lab, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to give you my opinion and perspective on it. I want to stick to the experts, Richard Ebright being one of them. And we're going to read his whole thread and what he thinks about the documents that were revealed. So check it out. I'm gonna read it myself, but it says new details emerge about coronavirus research at Chinese lab. This is The Intercept. It says more than 900 pages of materials related to U.S.-funded coronavirus research in China were released following a FOIA lawsuit by The Intercept. Freedom of Information Act. It's a pretty amazing thing that America has. I'm sure a lot of countries don't. Where I know Tom Fitton from Judicial Watch does that a lot too. He'll sue, and there's a way that if you win the lawsuit, government has to release documents. That's what this is. Thank you, The Intercept, for doing that. That was very noble of you. And that's the story. Thank you guys for being here. Thanks everybody who watched my last video. It's been one of my biggest videos in a while, I think. A lot of people have been sharing it, especially on Facebook and Instagram. It's got, I don't even know, maybe like 70, 80,000 shares or something, which is incredible. Thank you guys so much. That's how my videos get around. We don't have huge budgets. I don't even run advertising money at all. It's all off of shares. So thank you guys, everybody who watches and shares. I appreciate it. As everybody's coming in, I just want to read a few headlines of the day. I'll show it just so I can prove it. I know YouTube can see it. For some reason, they flip it on Facebook. But this is New York Post. It says, Rutgers bars unvaccinated student from attending virtual class. We've talked about this, but it's starting to come out in the press. Even if you want to virtually attend certain universities like Rutgers, apparently they're not allowing you to do so. So that's kind of crazy, is it not? It's like, okay, yeah, for sure. I'm so terrible. I'll just sit at home. That's fine. I'll give you my money. I'll sit in my house on my laptop. I won't infect anybody with my disgusting blood or whatever. Yeah, and they won't even let you do that. I mean, I hope people are waking up. If this was about the science of spread and vaccines, et cetera, and everything that they were saying was completely on point, which I think we know it's not at this point, but in general, wouldn't it be fine to just sit in your house and not attend camp? They don't even want you to do that. They want to ruin your life. They want to, it's just gross. Everybody knows a story like that, but it's just pretty crazy. He's like, I'll stay at home. I'll stay at home. Nah, we still don't even we don't want your hands on your own keyboard. It's like, okay. This is the Epic Times, but also this has been covered by everybody. I just found this. So apparently they're saying a recording artist, Victory Boyd, refuses vaccine for religious reasons, and NFL cancels her national anthem. So, I mean, we love everybody here, but you can see she's a black female musician, and she's now not allowed to play because she tried to have a religious exemption. This is just how much they're like, oh my God, we love black people. We love Hispanics. We love women. We love them so much. That's what the liberals say. But then it's like, well, I'm not saying I'm a black woman. I'm only a black woman when I identify as Whoopi Goldberg. I do that sometimes. I want to be a black Jewish female. So sometimes I say, this is not anomaly. This is Whoopi Goldberg. But jokes aside, you know, this woman, she's just like, hey, I'm a black female. I want to, and they're like, do you want to get the pharmacy injection? She's like, no. Well, I have a religious exemption. Well, you can't play here. That's how much we like you. You can't go to a restaurant in New York City. You can't. They're psychos. It's like, this is not how you show you love people. Like acting like authoritarian medical psychopaths when somebody doesn't want to get a pharmacy product. I mean, if you want to get it, it's fine. But barring people from singing national anthems, like, she's just like, can I just play the guitar and sing? They're like, no, not unless you bow down to our booster shot coming soon. Leave us alone. And this last one before we start the Fauci story, this is just Washington Post, New York Post, basic stuff. Obesity among children has 5 to 11 rises during the pandemic. And New York Post said childhood obesity has increased. I'm just trying to raise a little bit of awareness of that. I've said it before, but you know, all this talk about health, we want the kids to be healthy. That's why we're forcing masks on their face. We want you to be healthy. You do it for your grandma, do it for these people. We're setting a whole generation up for failure with obesity rising, heart disease is going to rise, diabetes is going to rise. Obviously, the science of the human body, when you add more weight and obesity increases, it's not always the greatest thing for your health. That's pretty well documented. It doesn't take a science degree to figure that out. But that's what they're doing. They close down sports, they close down gym, they close down school, they close down even beaches at a point. In Australia, they're still doing it. Do they have no regards of the collateral damage that they're causing? That's why they get so mad at Joe Rogan. It's like he's a 55-year-old or something that I don't know how old he is, in his 50s. He works out, he takes care of himself, he beat it, in a couple days. They hate that because they hate when people prove that actually being a healthy person probably goes a little bit further than being like really unhealthy and just lining up for whatever product they tell you to take. Health is a full circle. It's not just what you eat. It's not just working out. It's not just the medicine you take. It's a full circle. It's like, do whatever you want as long as you bow down to Pfizer and Moderna. You're the healthiest person in the world. We don't care how much we don't care if you even get sunlight. Just sit in your house and watch Rachel. Like, these people are losing it. So if we care about the kids, we don't want a whole new generation to be even fatter than the other generation, because if it's really about health, that's pretty important, in my opinion, and in basic science as well. All right, let's get to the full story. So I'm just going to show you a few headlines. Even Yahoo News admitted it. It's not me. Facebook's Yahoo News, the trusted experts over there. They said internal documents further contradict Fauci's gain-of-function research denials. The Intercept was the article. I'm just going to read Richard Ebright because he's definitely not Republican or conservative in my view. I mean, I don't know how he votes, but I followed him for a while because he's been known as one of these infectious disease experts. He's very pro-vaccine. He's not like a huge Trump fanatic or anything. This guy's like a science, university guy. He's on the faculty at Rutgers. He's the Board of Governors Professor of Chemistry and Chemical Biology. I'm just going to read a few awards that he's had. Johnson & Johnson Discovery Research Fellow, 1990. Walter J. Johnson Prize, 1995. American Academy of Microbiology Fellow, 1996. Rutgers University Board of Trustees Research Excellence Awards, 1998. Even as recently, he won a National Institute of Health Merit Award, 2013. Infectious Disease of Society American Fellow, 2011. So he's got like dozens of awards, over a dozen, through all of his scientific research and infectious disease research. So this guy came out recently. He read the Intercept article I told you about. If you just want to search it, it says new details emerge about coronavirus research at China lab. And once again, the way they access these documents, it's totally legal. This is not leaked, or this is not like someone stole them. It's called the Freedom of Information Act. You could look it up. And if you sue, I don't know exactly how it works. The Intercept does it sometimes. Publications do it. Judicial Watch does it. And if you win the lawsuit, they have to make certain documents public that weren't public. That's a rough of how it works, the Freedom of Information Act. So they did that at the Intercept. They released it. And I'm going to read this full thread by Richard H. Ebright, who is one of these infectious disease experts that they keep talking about. And it's quite long. He quotes it a lot. It says, newly released, this is Richard Ebright on Twitter. He has a whole thread. It's going viral right now. Newly released documents provide details of U.S.-funded research on coronaviruses at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. The Intercept has attained more than 900 pages of documents detailing work of EcoHealth Alliance at a Chinese lab. The trove of documents includes 2 previously unpublished grant proposals that were funded by the NIAID, as well as project updates relating to the EcoHealth Alliance's research, which has been scrutinized amid increased interest in the origins of the pandemic. He goes on to say the materials show that 2014 and 2019 NIH, that's National Institute of Health, grants to EcoHealth with subcontracts to WIV funded gain-of-function research as defined in federal policies in effect in 2014 to 2017 and potential pandemic pathogen enhancements as defined in federal policies in effect 2017 to present. This has been evident previously from published research papers that credited the 2014 grant and from the publicly available summary of the 2019 grant, but this can now be stated definitively from progress reports of the 2014 grant and the full proposal of the 2017 grant. He said the materials confirm the grant supported the construction in Wuhan of novel chimeric SARS-related coronaviruses that combined a spike gene from one coronavirus with genetic information from another coronavirus and confirmed the resulting viruses could infect human cells. He goes on to say the materials reveal that the resulting novel laboratory-generated SARS-related coronavirus also could infect mice engineered to display human receptors on cells. The materials further reveal for the first time that one of the resulting novel laboratory-generated SARS-related coronaviruses, one not previously disclosed publicly, was more pathogenic to humanized mice than the starting virus from which it was constructed, and thus not only was reasonably anticipated to exhibit enhanced pathogenicity, I don't know how to say that word, but indeed was demonstrated to exhibit enhanced pathogenicity. I don't know exactly how to do that offshoot of pathogen, but anyway, two more. Get through it with me. The materials further reveal that the grants also supported the construction in Wuhan of novel chimeric MERS-related coronaviruses that combine spike genes from one MERS-related coronavirus with the genetic information of another MERS-related coronavirus. Perhaps the most important part, in his final tweet, he said, "The documents make it clear that assertions by the NIH director, Francis Collins, and the NIAID director, Anthony Fauci, that the NIH did not support gain-of-function research of potential pandemic pathogen enhancement at WIV are untruthful." So, very long-winded. You could read it yourself on Richard H. Ebright's Twitter. He's a very credited Rutgers, Harvard graduated, Rutgers currently working, dozens of awards for infectious diseases, biology, everything. He said, basically Fauci lied. That's pretty much the long term, where he said he was trying to say, we had no part in this. We weren't funding this. And these documents that were released by The Intercept, in the opinion, or I guess perspective of Richard H. Ebright, he says that it's untruthful, that they clearly did that, and now they have documents. So if you want to go through those 900 pages, check out that article. It's pretty big news, but I guess the question before we move on is, I've never really seen anybody held accountable. So you have Dr. Anthony Fauci, right? For over a year, they were deleting videos. One of my videos got deleted. They censored me for a little bit. They demonetized me. They gave me all sorts of fact checks. And one of the big things they were fact checking was talking about this gain-of-function research in a Wuhan lab. I never said it was created in a lab. I never said I knew. I don't do fake news. I don't claim to know things I don't. I just show evidence. I did a whole video, I think last April, over a year ago now, almost a year and a half. And I showed a Newsweek article that referenced Richard Ebright and all these people talking about how gain-of-function research was actually happening and that it was dangerous and not everybody agreed on it. Because what it is you take a virus that can't transmit into humans and make it so it can transmit into humans. That's the short-term definition of what it is. You can look up the long-term, but it's basically like the pros of doing that type of research is, well, maybe we can get a cure. Maybe we can work on vaccines. The con, of course, is maybe you can also create a virus. So I never said that it happened. I never said that Bill Gates or Fauci did it. I never claimed that I knew everything. I just said this is real research that was possibly funded by our own government in that Wuhan lab around coronaviruses, where they were manipulating it to make it more transmissible into humans. That is true. These documents are proving that, but we already kind of knew that based on old stuff. And that's all I was saying. This was censored on Facebook for a year, which is causing some people to be like, why are you doing that? Why don't you censor Rachel Maddow? She posted a fake article claiming that this hospital in Oklahoma was through the lines. I already made a video on that, proving that they used actually a picture of people in line for a COVID vaccine and then used it as their, heading to scare people into thinking that people are outside with gunshot wounds because Joe Rogan's taking horse dewormer. And it turns out that the hospital proved that that person doesn't even work there anymore, and that story's not even true. So Rachel Maddow still has this story on her Twitter, unless she deleted it. She never gets fact-checked, but you get fact-checked sometimes for telling the truth. Fact-checkers, time and time again, they have to retract. They have to change from false to partly false. It's like they clearly have an agenda. They clearly want to quash certain things for political reasons, medical reasons, personal reasons. Maybe they're having a bad day and they think being an authoritarian makes them feel more important or something. I'm not sure why they're doing it, but they have been doing it. And it's just interesting, after a year of watching this story get censored, to have some of the biggest infectious disease experts admit, not only do we think this is true, but now with the Freedom of Information Act and all these documents coming out, we can pretty much prove that it is true. And, Dr. Rand Paul talked to Dr. Anthony Fauci, and they were smearing him for a long time. I just want to find that article. He was trying to say you lied in Congress, and, that's up to Congress. That's up to the courts. But even The Intercept just a few months ago was even, that's who got these documents. They were even smearing him, saying Rand Paul's attack on Anthony Fauci chills the scientific debate over gain-of-function research by politicizing the debate over virus-modifying research. The senator has thrilled conservatives by discouraging scientists from weighing in, where this is a phenomenon that's, I would say Rand Paul is one of the more ethical people in Congress, but no one's telling scientists to get political. If you're Richard Ebright, I don't care if Donald Trump says it. I don't care if Joe Biden says it. I don't care if Fauci says it. I don't care if Rand Paul says it. Your job is not to think it's political. So many scientists and doctors are admitting they're not even telling the truth anymore. They're afraid to, because it's become political. Well, Trump says it. Now it's a Trump thing. Well, now Biden says it. It's a Biden thing. Is it Trump's vaccine or is it Biden's vaccine? It's Pfizer's vaccine. It's Moderna's vaccine. And both of them had a role. I guess Trump had a role in funding those companies to rush them out to public. And Biden is now the president. So he clearly has some sort. These people are censoring themselves and then blaming like, well, Rand Paul shouldn't. It's not our fault that if Trump or Rand Paul says something, nobody wants to agree with them. This is a new phenomenon that you don't find. I think it was Nixon and Kennedy, but one of the oldest debates, I watched it the other month. And they used to agree with each other. He would say something, and then the other, the Republican, the Democrat, would be like, you know what? I agree, but I disagree. I agree, but I disagree. They don't do that anymore. It's like, I hate you. You're the worst person in the world. You're killing everybody. You're a fascist. You're this, and I can't even agree with. It's like, what? This is not Rand Paul's fault. I would say Trump has a role in it, but I wouldn't say it's his fault. It's more the reaction that people had to Trump. You don't have to like Trump, but if he says he likes water, are you going to say you don't like water? This is how crazy it's getting. And when it comes to Joe Rogan, he said on his podcast with Tom Segura, I was listening to it now because he's healthy again. He was like, do I have to sue CNN? He's debating about it because CNN's running this headline like Joe Rogan's this maniac just sucking down horse dewormer. And Joe Rogan's trying to explain, I got this from my doctor. This was prescribed to me. And also it has been, it won a Nobel Prize for humans. You don't have to, the drug that must not be named that they're calling horse dewormer, you don't have to say it works perfectly if you're not a doctor and you don't know that, but to act like a human's never taken it is just fake. It's on the CDC website and they give it to refugees for deworming or deparasiting. So these people are just straight up liars. It's not us politicizing science. It's you guys hate us so much. You hate Rand Paul so much. You hate Donald Trump so much. You hate Joe Rogan so much that you're willing to literally lie about something just to disagree with them. It's like saying I'm drinking water and calling it horse liquid. Yeah, horses drink liquid, but so do humans. And it's the same with that drug. Yes, horses take it, so do other animals, but also humans do take it in other elements. You don't have to say it works for COVID if you don't think it works for COVID. But when you lie and say that it's not a human ingestible thing when it's already won a prize and has been ingested by humans. And by the way, it's on the CDC website telling refugees to take it. You're just a liar. You can't blame Rand Paul. You can't blame me. You can't blame Donald Trump. You can't blame Joe Rogan. Blame yourself. No one told you to act this way. And to be fair, the right wing does it with certain things too. If I say something, I don't like Trump's just selling vaccines like a used car salesman all the time. Oh, you're Joe Biden. Oh my God, you're a liberal. Like we're losing our collective minds here. I would say the left is way worse, but it's like people think there's only two ways to think. And it's like, if the enemy says it, I can't like it. Listen, I like coffee. If Trump likes coffee, I still like coffee. If Joe Biden likes coffee, I still like coffee. I'm not going to pretend not to like it just because Joe Biden likes it. People got to stop acting this way. And, it's sad because I'm 31 right now. I'm not even that old, but I guess to some people I'm old. It's like grown adults. It's like 50-year-olds and 70-year-olds and 60-year-olds and 30 acting like children. Like I swear I didn't even act this way when I was in like 5th grade and I was a moron, so it's just embarrassing to see our country acting this way. And then like, oh, well, scientists don't want to weigh in on it because Rand Paul made it political. Rand Paul didn't make it political. He just questioned Fauci, and Fauci's Brad Pitt to the left wing. Fauci's the enemy of the right wing. They think he's the devil, and vice versa. Rand Paul, say what you want about the Republican Party, because I'll probably agree with you, but Rand Paul is one of the nicest guys in the Republican Party. I would say he's probably like the most ethical person. Maybe Thomas Massey, there's a few other people I like, but they hate Rand Paul. Like, who told you to hate Rand Paul? The son of Ron Paul. Ron Paul's an American gem. He was like a libertarian, like nice guy. why do you hate Rand Paul so much? I don't even understand it. It's like, it's crazy to me. And to be fair, before I move on, there's people on the left wing that I don't like, but I don't spend that much time hating on them. I don't even talk about AOC that much because I don't like her, but I don't focus on things I don't like that much. I don't, if my whole life revolved around hating AOC, the joke's on me, not AOC. Like, I have to have a life. I have to have an identity. I have to have a career. I have to provide some value to the world. And if I'm just like a hater of Trump or AOC, it doesn't make you a good person. It just means you have way too much time on your hands, or you're failing yourself because you're not focused on yourself. So it's bizarre what's going on with politics, but I think it's like, a combination of laziness and people just trying to live vicariously through politicians or something. I don't know what it is, but it's got to chill out because it's not normal. New York Post: Rutgers bars unvaccinated student from attending virtual class. So now you can't even attend a virtual class if you're unvaccinated. I'm not even going to go on campus. Too bad. You got to stay home. I mean, do they care? Do they care about efficacy? Do they care about the CDC director saying that, oh, I don't think you'll be able to transmit it if you get it? Oh, you can. It keeps changing. It keeps evolving. But one thing is for certain, they keep pushing it and jamming it down your throat and getting crazier and crazier. Like I said, there's a songwriter named Victory Boyd. I think I said Victoria before, but maybe not. Victory Boyd, who's going to perform the national anthem. She's a Black woman. Not that it matters. We love all people, but it's just ironic or hypocritical that they claim that they're so pro-woman and they won't even let this lady perform now because she doesn't want to take the vaccine on religious reasons. Like, I heard a story, I think it was Ashley St. Clair on Twitter. She said that her sister, somebody in her family, is pregnant and her work is trying to fire her. They're going to fire her even though she's pregnant. She's like, she's not anti-vax. It's just like, it's a high-risk pregnancy, and I'd rather just not right now. I'd rather not. And the works they don't care. They don't care if you have Guillain-Barré syndrome. They don't care if you have a family of heart history. They don't care about your medical history. They don't care what your doctor says. A lot of these people are like, we don't care. We just want to put this in your body. There's never been a medicine like this. I'm sorry. Even the vaccines, they were so good, or the public thought they were so good, that people just got in line for them. That's how it used to work. They didn't say, we need you to get this or else you can't eat at the restaurant. This is like psycho level tyranny that I hope people wake up, because there's somebody programming them and they're like, horse dewormer. And you're like, do you know anything? I'm not even like a fan of that medication because I don't talk about medication that much. I'm not a doctor, but it's like, these people don't know anything anymore. Obesity from childhood, 5 to 11 rises during the pandemic, says Washington Post. You got to open sports. You got to let the kids play. You have to eventually let them show their smile. Besides the health impacts, it's physically. I said this a year ago, and now the data is starting to prove me right. It's not like I'm so special. This was just basic common sense. Anybody could figure it out. But, these lockdowns were physically abusive, mentally abusive, and psychologically abusive. And people would be like, well, how's it physically abusive? Well, multiple ways, but one way, when you're taking away physical activities from somebody and forcing essentially the mass of children to get fatter because they don't have access to exercise, that's physically abusive. You're basically treating someone like a prisoner and saying, you can't work out, you can't exercise, it's not even legal. Oh, well, they could just go in their backyard. That's the most elitist thing I've ever heard someone say. Not everyone has a backyard. Have you ever been to Brooklyn or Bed-Stuy or Queens or, any city? I'm sure. I've never been to Detroit, but I'm sure go to any city in the US and there aren't really backyards available. But also, if you live in an unsafe neighborhood, it's not safe at night. Sometimes it's not even safe during the day. So I just watched the story of Muggsy Bogues, basketball player. He said he got shot when he was 5 years old for standing on the corner. It's like, a lot of people live in those type of neighborhoods. Only some psycho elitist is like, well, just go in your hot tub and work out in your backyard. Not everyone has a backyard. So when you take this crap away from people, only the wealthy can really subsidize it if they're not lazy. And people who are poor and middle class are the ones who are going to suffer the most. That's the story. Such disgusting that they did this, but it's like, it's so mentally abusive as well. I like to smile. I like seeing other people smile. I like to talk. I like to try to be a nice person. What happens when you can't smile? You're working for 8 hours as a waitress and I can't even see your face. I could barely hear you. It's mentally and psychologically abusive. And it hurts my soul when I see so many waitresses still being forced to wear a mask. It's disgusting. And it is abusive. It does have an impact. And just like with, the kid at home saying he can't go to Rutgers if he's unvaccinated, it's like, they're lying, because if there was a middle ground, okay, this is really bad, people are dying, but we do have to talk about, exercise. We do have to talk about dieting. We do have to talk about the collateral damage. They don't want to talk about any of that stuff. We don't care if you work at home. We still don't want you here. We don't care if kids are getting fatter. You can't even talk about it. We don't even care if more people are missing cancer screenings and tuberculosis appointments overseas. We don't care. These people don't care. They don't care about health. They're just angry and nasty. And it's not a majority of people. Don't let them make you think it's everybody. It's all over the place. It's a very loud minority that has scared most of people into submission. And most people will go either way. If they say open up, they'll open up. If they close. Do a backflip, they'll do a backflip. That's most people. It's not like everybody feels this way, but that loud minority is getting away with this stuff because they're just so nasty and nobody's standing up to them. So we have to have a conversation about that stuff as well. Thank you guys. I appreciate you for being here. I'll hang out for probably 10, 20 minutes, which sometimes turns into an hour by mistake, but I'm grateful to have a job where I actually like to stay and chat. So thank you guys for being here. Check out my last video. Are we even allowed to tell the truth? I do my best to cite everything that I say and document it. So I've been blessed and fortunate to have it reach a large amount of people. And also, besides that, I think it's just what people are looking for. If I just blabber and say whatever I want, it's interesting, it's funny, but when I do a news report, I try to show you every article I'm not making this crap up. It didn't come from my theory. It's like it's all documented, everything I'm saying. So that's why I try to do it. Let's see. Someone said no sporting events. Stand up to the tyranny, said Nicole. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. All right. Let me try to read some star comments while I'm waiting. Trisha said, please keep up the good work. Thank you, Trisha, on Facebook. Jennifer said, hey, Anomaly, have I seen the Pfizer BioNTech, the Comirnaty situation? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I know that that's what's approved. I don't know what they're calling the regular one because the Moderna and the Pfizer BioNTech, they never had a name. So I've heard people say that one is, and I covered it in my last one, but I don't speak much on it because I don't know. People are trying to say, well, that's not the one that's approved. It's a new one. I don't know that for sure. So I'm not going to say that because they could have just called that one this one. You get what I'm saying? It's not something I want to weigh in on because I try to speak what I know. And a lot of people don't do that. They just say what they think. And that, that's how people end up spreading misinformation. So I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're right. I simply don't know. So I'm not going to talk on it. Thank you, Ronnie. I appreciate it. Thank you for sharing my videos. Someone said Bobby Sauce gave me a shout out on his live stream. We'll shout him out too. Appreciate it. I always appreciate the love. You can't see it real quick, but I think on sorry, I guess I'll get it now that I was thinking about putting this on the wall. It's not an advertisement because I'm not being paid by Nintendo. But I went to the fair and all the prizes sucked, and this was the only good prize. I like Mario. I just like a good time. And I played the basketball game. I told y'all I ball. Stop playing with your boy. But I won this basketball at the fair. It was like the only prize I wanted. First shot, bang, bank it, So I might put that on the wall. But then I'm like, do I want to give Mario that much promotion? It's not like they're paying me, but it's a fun time. Look, they're having fun. I'm having fun. Look, no masks on. We'll just a little side note, but I like to ball out here. So I'm still challenging anyone. Someone said the existing one is called the hotline. I'm reading the comments. I'll look into it, honestly. I'll check it out. Was the fair endorsed by Kamala Harris? Not that I know of. If it was, I probably wouldn't have gone. Kamala could work at a fair though. She could be one of those people where she sits there and you hit the ball and then they like dunk in the water, she could be like, she could laugh at you when you miss. You're like, and you're like, you ever been to one of those fairs where you throw the ball and if you hit the target, they dunk in and they talk trash to you? She'd be a good fit for that. Just laugh maniacally at you every time you missed. Someone said all morning shows used to have exercise, healthy food segments, no more, because their biggest sponsors just sell pharmacy products and high fructose corn syrup and fast food. That's why I always try to work out or say something. I mean, I'm not always working out, but I try to like talk about that type of stuff, because even on internet, everyone's like, and you're like, oh wow, like I get it, like yeah, wow, like wow, that's a cool opinion, but I don't know. I like to do stuff. I like to be out there, so I try to incorporate fun stuff. Someone said, "What are we doing about the frogs turning gay?" I guess no one's doing anything about it. It's up to you, Anon that bites the dust. You have to research the frogs. I'm sure Alex Jones will help you. He loves that. But that is actually a study as well. But you will save the frogs. You and you alone. Thank you, Donald. Why are some states offering $100 to take the COVID shot? Because they really badly want you to get it. So it's pretty funny, like the French fry thing. Like that's like, I love a good discount, but it's like the lowest common denominator. French fries, donuts. They're like, please, we'll give you a Slim Jim. It's like, just like, nah, I'm good. Thanks though. They're like, 2 Slim Jims. Nah. All right, we'll give you an Eggs Benedict, but that's it. I'm like, nah. They're like, $1 million lotto. I'm like, I'm good. They're like, why won't they get it? So it's my employer did a raffle. That's fun. Unless it was like to get the shot, then that's kind of creepy. But see, people are debating about the FDA approval. I've heard both stories now. I don't talk on things I don't know, but also it was already emergency use authorized. So it's like in general, they're forcing people to get it anyway. To me, that talking point's not that interesting. I get it. It's definitely worth noting, but it's like even before it was FDA approved, they're still forcing it onto people. So it's not like that really helped anybody, So I don't know why I'd spend 3 months trying to figure out if this one's approved or not when it doesn't even matter. It's going into people's arms every day, and people are losing jobs over it. They were losing jobs beforehand, and now they're losing it after them. I don't get why it. I get why people are interested, but as far as like, there's a million things going on, I can't talk about everything. I find it high risk, low reward. High risk of and just like nothing really to gain there. But I'm sure somebody will report it better, and there's something there. Someone said Kamala Harris would be perfect for the dunk tank. Thank you, Luis. I appreciate it. Sorry, I missed some super chats. I'll try to scroll up, but I don't think I can. Anomaly, read my comment. I just read it, but sorry, Malachi. You said read my comment. I read your comment, but that's all your comment said. People always do that. They're like, read my comment. I'm like, everything's scrolling. I got 1,100 people on here. I have 3,000 people on Facebook. We had 4,000 at the beginning. So things are scrolling all the time. If you say read my comment, I'm like, read my comment. I can't scroll back up. You just got to keep it going. Someone said, what do you think are the real reason they're pushing it so hard? I mean, there could be many reasons, but I mean, I don't know. I could walk through all the reasons I think, but I think I've pretty much said it already as far as what I think. And I guess at the end of the day, I could weigh out all the reasons they're doing it. But to me, I still don't care. Where it's like, even with Trump, people do that. They're like, but do you think he was doing it for this or that reason? I'm like, we could go over it. We could try to dive into this guy's head and figure out why he's doing it. I just don't care. It's like if you ask me, Anomaly, do you want to go to the diner? If I don't want to go, I don't want to go. And that's fine if you do, but maybe you want to go because you want to hang out. Maybe you just want information. Maybe, you're lonely and you need that. It's like there's many reasons, but I just don't want to go myself. So it's all love. Is Anomaly left-handed? I am left-handed. Shout out to lefties. We are the original, we got discriminated against hard. They never had anything. They never have golf clubs. They never have, scissors in school. I would get bad grades because it would be sloppy because I didn't know how to cut with the scissors. So lefties have been oppressed for a long time. And if you're a lefty out there, just know you're not alone. there's not many of us, but we are organizing. We are powerful. Like Anonymous, we're there even though you can't see us. And righties should look over their shoulder because we're always lurking. We have a lefty everywhere. Okay, we got lefties in high rise binocular style, spy towers everywhere. So righties, be nice to your lefty friends. Someone said, why are they trying to push it so hard? Like I said, I could go through all the reasons, but one thing I think that's clear is think about it from a business angle. And I've been talking about this a lot. I'm not saying this is why they're doing it. Maybe they're really concerned, maybe this or that, but imagine a product, any businessman or anybody who works at a business, imagine a product that you make everybody take. Everyone has to take your product twice. And then, if the efficacy isn't what they said it was, it's not like your fault, it's like their fault. So you get to blame the people who didn't get your product and guilt them or threaten them into getting your product. You get to blame the people who do take your product and say they have to take another product. This is like a lifelong $1 trillion scheme. If they can pull this off for 30 years, it's like everyone everywhere has to take it at all the times. And if it ever stops working, you just take another one. It's a genius marketing strategy. I'm not saying that's why they're doing it. I think, you don't have to ask me why they're doing it. I think you could, speculate on 5 or 6 different reasons, but I think the clear angle is like they're making a fortune. And if you look at the history of this industry, obviously money makes the world go round. But, I've heard all sorts of different theories. I guess I just don't really care, where it's like, I do care, but I don't know. It's like, I'm not going to live in a lockdown Australia society. I don't care if people think they're doing the right thing. Oh, well, my mom's really scared. Oh, she has good intent. I'm sure she does. I'm sure your mom's awesome. But it's like, she doesn't get to lock down the whole world all the time. It's like at a certain point, I guess I just don't really care why people are doing it. It's like, it's too much. And it comes at a cost. And I want to bring to the table other elements of what's going on that they're ignoring. All right, I'm gonna take a few more, but I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, so then people want to watch it later. Someone said, I'm left-handed but right-handed with scissors. Well, it's probably because you were forced to take them. They oppressed you, and we need reparations. Lefties I need at least $10 million from the government, because even doing taxes with my left hand is strenuous. If I was righty, I'd probably expend more energy. You write all over your hand. I got all the ink. I'm gonna need some serious reparations. I was abused as a kid because I was a lefty. Everything was backwards. I thought I was dyslexic. They tried to give me Adderall. I don't know. It's time to pay up. Listen, everything comes at a cost. Just put a couple mil in my bank account. I'll never talk about it again. Someone said I'm right-handed, but I shoot basketball left. Someone said, Dimitri, the only man to have defeated him. You didn't defeat me, Dimitri. We had a conversation on Instagram, and it went nicely. And I didn't even disagree with you. You're like, I don't like the one thing, but I like the one thing. I was like, Dimitri, I like you. Let's not push the boundaries, Dimitri, or else I'm gonna have to take you to the basketball court and swat your ball out of bounds. Someone said I'm barbecuing shrimp in Nashville. That sounds awesome. I just want Anomaly's take on it. I didn't see what you said. Someone said the EUA allows all this. Don said the further deviation of the V's are approved, not the current, according to Dr. Christina Parks. I don't know who Christina Parks is. Here's my thing, Don. I try to be effective with what I do. If a doctor understands the FDA approval and wants to take a hardline stance and say, this is what's approved, this is not, that's fine. I'm not going to sit here and talk about it because it's a high risk thing to do, but there's almost no benefit to it, where it's like, what I'm trying to say is, from my knowledge, the FDA has approved the Pfizer and BioNTech vaccine, and they're marketing it now as Comirnaty. So FDA approval, a lot of time, and this, don't take this for gospel, but they approve what can be marketed or not. So they're now choosing a name for this jab as far as just calling it the Pfizer. I'm under the impression that it's the same one. Other people are trying to say that it's not. But here's my thought process. Even if it's not, I don't understand why it matters. People are going to spend 5 months talking about that. It doesn't matter. They're still putting the Moderna in people. They're still putting the Johnson & Johnson. They're still putting the AstraZeneca, and they're still doing the Pfizer everywhere. So it doesn't even matter if it's FDA approved. They've been putting it in more arms than any FDA approved vaccine under the emergency use authorization. So I don't even understand why people are spending so much time. I'm not trying to be mean or rude because everybody's interested in different stuff, but people bring this up every day like it even matters. They've been forcing people to take the emergency use authorized version for over a year now. And this has not provided you any sort of protection or any sort of, it's one little talking point on a scale of 50 talking points, but whether it's approved or not, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I don't know why people would spend so much energy on it, but that's just me. Certain things are very interesting to certain people, but to me, it's like a high risk, like zero reward talking point that provides like no value for at least like my reports and stuff. And I put it in the last one, but I didn't say much about it because I don't know much about it. I mean, they could make up a name for the Moderna and FDA approve that. I'm not going to spend a year trying to figure out which one they approve. They have over 20,000 approved pills, and these were not approved for a while and still being forced into people. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. Someone said reparations are not a joke. Oh, I know they're not a joke. That's why I'm trying to get some for myself. I never said they were a joke. I said they're real and I want them. I want reparations for multiple things. If you want reparations for something, that's fine too. We're on the same team. So, someone said natural immunity isn't talked about. It's talked about. It's just not very well respected in the media. But I think reparations are very real. So, if you want racial reparations, go for it. Me, I want reparations for being left-handed. I want reparations for the media abusing me and just being so negative and nasty for so long. They've spent billions of dollars just harassing humanity. So, the crimes against humanity reparations, I would like at least 10, 20 million. So if you want some for racial or sexual reasons, go for it. I'm not a politician. I'm not going to stop you. What's my favorite hobby? I like going to the beach. I like swimming. I like body surfing, basketball. I like sports, exercise, and nature. All of those things. I don't really have a favorite. I would say the beach. I love the beach. Specifically body surfing. I like to ride a wave with my body and feel it like, you know what I'm saying? I'm on the wave. It's a good time. Someone said a bishop in Australia stood up against the cops and government anomaly. Australia is crazy. It's definitely wild. I see what's going on. All that I could do is what I can do, but I've seen the dog story. They're treating humans like animals as well. It's insane. I'd love Idaho. I'm sure I would. I'm a pretty joyful person. I like a little bit of everything, so. Someone said I want reparations for not getting reparations. Exactly. Not getting them is a form of oppression. Am I on Twitter? Yeah, I'm on Twitter. Legendary Energy. Someone said you want to pay yourself for bad blonde jokes. Have I made blonde jokes before? I don't even remember making a blonde joke, but if I have and I offended you, I'm not sorry because I don't even remember doing that. Thank you, Don. I appreciate it. Am I in Texas with the hat? No. Someone said I want reparations for all my tax money. Yeah, taxes are disgusting. To me, that's like the big story. Everybody wants to talk about all this stuff. I'm starting to want to talk about how no one's talking about taxes. I don't know. It's bigger than even like, oh my God, I don't want to pay. I'm so selfish. These, I've explained it before, but I understand roads and I get the whole talking point. Well, they need this type of money, but if you're a corporation, you have to provide value or else you lose. Say what you want about Amazon because they're not ethical. They do a great service. The government doesn't do most things right because they have no incentive. They just take everyone's money and then they just, oh, well, I got $1 billion. Well, now I'm just going to get it again. They're just stealing other people's money. So they have their business model is like fraudulent from the get-go. Nancy Pelosi, yeah, you shouldn't work. Well, how come you get to work? Do you know what it's like to be a trucker? Do you know what it's like to work at a gas station? Do you know what it's like to be a small business owner? Do you know what it's like to be an entrepreneur? Do you know what it's like to be an Uber driver? So how are you going to shut down everyone else's job, but you still get paid? Because her pay is off of stealing other people's money. The government takes everyone's money and then pays people like Nancy Pelosi, so they think it's okay to shut down everyone else's job. I don't want to talk about Trump anymore. I don't even want to talk about Biden that much. It's not that interesting to me. Everybody's fighting like children in a sand bucket. That's part of the distraction. Is Biden a terrible leader? I would say maybe the worst ever. Is Donald Trump cooler than most presidents? I would say. Is he also, funnier / maybe more rude than other presidents? Maybe. I'll give both sides that. Like, yes, Biden is a complete tool. Like, yes, but how, we're never going to get to what they're both doing if everybody just fights all the time like children. And I think what's been more interesting to me recently has been the fact that like you can do whatever you want if you take the time. Like maybe you can't do everything, but if you want to be an entrepreneur or creator, now's the best time to do it. I mean, I can't act like, oh my God, everything's so terrible. Like, yes, the medical tyranny is horrible. And I've spent a lot of time trying to push back against it, but it's also the best time to be a musician, a best time to be a craftsman. If you're a woman and you make stuff, or you're a man and you make stuff, you could sell it on Etsy. There's people making 6 figures and millions of dollars on Amazon and Etsy. And I mean, it's go time. So even more interesting to me is the worst people are the people who don't focus on themselves and they're always blaming everyone else, or they're always pointing the finger to someone else, or they're always weighing in on politics to a point where they're just always so negative, where it's like, you could weigh in on how bad Joe Biden is because it's definitely notable. But if you live in that world for 15 hours a day, that's your reality too. You live in his little dark ice cream slurping reality. You got to pop in, weigh in on stuff, be effective, but you got to do your own thing. So I guess when I log into Twitter after a day where I'm not on Twitter, I'm just like, man, this sucks. Like, I mean, I definitely like talking to people and there's some funny memes and stuff, but it's not fun to just argue all the time. And they've given us this portal where it's like a portal into a new world. I play the piano. For instance, I like the song Daylight by Matt and Kim. It's like, dun, 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 dun. I could play it on the piano. I used to be able to. So yesterday I was like, oh, I want to remember how to play that. I looked up a tutorial. So I'm playing a song I like. Someone said it's corny. You can say what it's want. My life's not corny. My life's real and it's awesome because I don't spend so much time doing what everyone else wants to do. So I'm just saying you could go into a portal and learn a song. You can go into a portal and create a business. You can go into a portal and learn history from an alternative perspective you wouldn't have heard. Or you could sit and argue with your friends and family all the time. Who wants to do that? It's not fun. So I understand how crazy weird everything is, but I try to spend more energy and time focused on myself. And to be quite fair, that's why I have my own business. That's why I'm a CEO. That's why I have a flexible schedule. And that's why I have like 8 streams of income, because I busted my ass through my 20s and I didn't act like everybody else acts. I'm not blaming everybody. I didn't blame Obama. I didn't really like Obama, but I didn't really hate Obama. I didn't really know I was like, he's a puppet, but he's kind of funny-ish, but I'm focused on what I'm doing. If everyone did that, the world would be better. Some of the biggest authoritarians, they don't take care of themselves. And they're like professional haters. It's like, I hate Joe Rogan. It's like, then do some push-ups and get stronger than Joe Rogan. How are you going to hate on Joe Rogan? You look like you haven't been in the sun in 5 years. It's like the biggest haters are the people who don't spend any time focused on them, their self, their life, their fitness, their career. And everybody wants to dictate everyone else. And on a tax note, that's like the government in a nutshell. They just take everybody's tax money and they're disgusting. And they're like, they know damn well they're going to have a budget next year because they're taking your money again. So I want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about Biden or Trump. I want to get to the core of why our system's corrupt, or else they're going to keep just hitting us back and forth like ping pong. And I don't mind paying taxes because it is what it is. But I'm like, I would love to give that money to someone who could do something with it. I don't want to give my money to Nancy Pelosi and Dianne Feinstein. It's not ideal, but whatever. Akib said, more power to you for finding ways to get the message out. I don't even have a big following, and the shadow banning on Facebook and IG is disgusting. Thank you. DA said, move to Michigan so if you get taken down, I can still have my rant, buddy. Appreciate it. Never been to Michigan. Maybe once. Maybe I have. I don't know. Someone said Marquette University will not allow me in buildings because they enforce their mask mandate and will not accommodate my disability by letting me wear a face shield or let me attend class virtually. Contact me for more info. I don't know how to contact a super chat, but you could contact me or probably someone who knows better. I don't know what to really do, but it's gross what's happening. But people got to definitely one way or another stand up for themselves. Someone said, I like your perspective. It's motivating. That's what I try to do. I'm not just trying to brag like, oh, I'm so awesome, but I want people to like, I watch certain political videos and it's so negative. It's like, oh my God, the world's going to end. We're all going to die. And it's like, I agree that these things are terrible. Like that's bad what they're doing. But yeah, I don't want to be that type of person where you tune in and you're like, oh my God, the world sucks. Like everybody's going to die. Like, it's like, that's no fun. And also it's doing a disservice, but I don't know. I'm more focused than ever, not particularly on everyone else, but I'm like, all right, 2 months ago, I'm like, all right, I got to do this. I got to do this. And I think if everyone did that, they wouldn't be so like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be cheesy, but the biggest haters are people that they don't focus on themselves. If you're focused somewhat on yourself, you don't have time to be like a full-time, hater or like, man, wear a mask. It's like nobody that healthy does that because you can't be that healthy doing that. If you have that much bad energy, like yelling at people, like it's too much. It's a bad time. Someone said Tim Pool. I don't know what that meant. You just said his name, good or bad. You're just like Tim Pool. That's what I saw. Tim Pool. Someone said it's so much healthier to be forward facing and grateful. I have to turn off my cell every so often. It's definitely good to get away. A cell phone is great, but it's good to take a step back. And also just, I don't know, monitor what you're intaking. Like if you spend 4 hours reading negative comments, try to spend like 4 minutes doing it, I like Twitter when I see a funny meme or a good take. I don't like to argue. Arguing's not, some people like to argue. Some people are like professional debaters, I guess. I'm not a very in real life. I'm not very confrontational. I'm not a negative person. I'm not a pacifist because I'm not like a weakling, but like I'm the type, I got my own life. I got my own world. If we cross paths, I'm trying to have a good time. If not, I don't got to see you again. That's how I think. So it's like, if something gets weird, I don't like to focus on that. I like to do the opposite. So same online. I don't want to focus on these things I hate, where to me, there's a million bad stories. In my opinion, it's great that these documents came out and there's, now virologists and biologists on our side telling the truth. I found that to be like a positive story yesterday. I don't know, but there's also a lot of crappy stories. It's just like, okay, we've been talking about the Renaissance where it's like, it's been dark, it's been ugly. Now it's time to build. Now it's time to create. Now it's time to figure out what the next move is. I don't know. If things get crazy, what's the move? I can't just sit around and feel bad for myself. It's not happening. Someone said delete Twitter. I could, but I'd rather just limit my time and have discipline. But someone said self-humor keeps me going. Humor is definitely a good time. Someone said healthy people are not negative for the most part. Haters need to change their diet and exercise. Yeah, well, I'm not going to say every healthy person is positive and every not, but there's definitely a correlation I've noticed of like people who, I don't know how to word this, but, God gave everyone a life and put you here and gave you a body. One of the first important things you could do is take care of yourself. If you can't take care of yourself, you can take care of others, but it's like, that's the first home base where it's like, you have this life, you have this opportunity, if it's nice to take care of yourself and you feel better. And sometimes your mind's clear and depending what you eat, you just eat a shitload of food at 11 a.m. I want to pass out. So it's like all this kind of weighs in hand. the people who yell at me to put a mask on most, I've never seen somebody just like that looked amazing, just like put your mask on now. It's usually like one guy, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm seriously not. But like the one time somebody yelled at me to put a mask on outside, this dude was like waddling. I'm not even trying to be mean. Like he was literally waddling. I don't know if he was 50, 70, I couldn't tell, but he's like, I'm outdoor. I'm at an outdoor mall. And he's like, put a mask on already. And I look at him and I'm like, excuse me, big dog. I said, excuse me, big dog. And this dude just waddles away. And I'm like, the frick, like, I'm like, hey, big dog, come back here. What'd you say? And he's like waddling away. I'm like, dude, you got 99 problems, and me wearing a mask 20 feet away from you in an outdoor facility is not one of them. Like, where did you learn to act that way? I swear, I'm not even kidding. Cause I was like, excuse me, I'm a nice guy, but you say something like that, I'm like, hey, let's have a chat, my man. And I'm like, dude, if you stop waddling like the penguin, you might not feel that negatively about stuff. I don't know if you're watching Don Lemon or Rachel Maddow, but you're not in a good place. Where I'm around, I'm like, hey, how you doing? I'm trying to have a good day. I'm like, man, I like your shoes. Like, I'm trying to look for a compliment. You're yelling at me? You gotta be out of your mind. The waddle was just intense though. Like I'm talking like it was like one of those like Russian dolls where you pop the heads off. It's like, and it gets smaller every time. Like he just had that vibe. And I'm like, you never see like a gym bro that's like, put your mask on, you piece of. They're like, no, it's like, no, they're too busy doing something that they like. I don't know. Just an observation. I don't know. I don't know what's driving people to do what. But I guess it is like, I know Joe Rogan feels this way too, because it's like, as somebody who I love sports, I've always liked sports. I like to be active. I try to be. There's been times when I wasn't healthy, but I've always been pretty healthy. I've never cared. I've never cared what someone. I've never looked down on someone. I've never thought like, oh my God, this person needs to do this or that. I've never been that type of person. Even if someone's big, I've never been like, oh, I like. It's more like if they're having issues or something, like, oh man, I feel bad for them. Like I want them to get healthier. I've never been a negative or mean person ever. But you feel a certain way when you're getting treated like shit. And I'm not saying I'm like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime or anything, but like I'm a pretty healthy guy. And I'm pretty active. I'm like the most active person I know. Like I wake up early, I go for walks. I love to do stuff. You feel a certain way when like the least healthy people in society, and I'm not even talking about just physically. I'm talking about like healthy mentally, healthy physically, healthy spiritually. The least healthy people think that they're like mini dictators now, telling you how unhealthy you are. And you feel a certain way, like it's not a mean thing, but it's like, if I saw Rachel Levine, I wouldn't be a mean person. I'm a nice guy. But if Rachel Levine's like, you're not healthy, I'm like, me and Joe Rogan are looking at her like, excuse me? Like, do you have a problem? Is something going like it, you feel a certain way. It's just like, just leave me the hell alone. Like, I don't bother you, but now you want to bother me. It's very strange. Like you don't see the healthiest people doing it because it's not healthy to lock down. It's not healthy to like slobber over pharmacy products. If you get sick and want to use a pharmacy product, or you want to get the flu shot or the COVID vaccine, I would never say anything about it. There's been people that are healthy, unhealthy. It's a preference, right? At this point, it's like, how much do you trust it? What's your experience? I know some people who have a good experience with it, so they use that data to be like, this is good for me. And vice versa. There's all sorts of stories. There's never been anything like this where people think just slobbering over a pharmacy product, locking themselves inside, wearing a mask, makes them like a moral person. It's crazy. It's a crazy world. But I just laugh at it because I'm not going to let these people get me down. And if they waddle up to me and say something, I'm just like, dude, I'm wearing like a sleeveless shirt at an outdoor facility, and this dude's like, I'm like, and he just like waddles off into the sunset. I'm like, dude, you're not even man enough to say something to me. This dude's like 20 years older than me. If you got a problem, I mean, we could talk about it, but I mean, it's a pretty soft move to say something and then run away. I've said something before and I stood right there pretty loud. I'm like, excuse me. Bro, who told you to act that way? If you got something to say it and stand there. If you don't got something to say, shut up and go Go to your car. But if you, who does that? Like this dude's like, Rachel Maddow, Joy Reid, NBC. I'm like, dude, stop watching television. He's like, well, Trevor Noah told me a horse to wear. Like, what? I don't even like. It's not that we don't live in the same world. Like you're crossing paths with my world and just being a weirdo, and then you just run away. Who does that? Can I show you how he waddled? Well, I don't remember exactly, but I've done it enough. I don't want to run this joke into the ground, but it's just like it really happened. Someone said we are getting forced to get the blank soon. I'm not getting forced to do anything. I don't live in this world where I'm afraid of this. I'm not getting it. I'm doing what I want. I'm not being forced to get anything. So I'm not a slave. I'm not a prisoner. I'm not a serf. I'm not even going to manifest that in my life. I'm great. My life is good. If they decide to do something crazy, I'm not participating in this little game they're playing. So that maybe they'll make you get it. They won't. I'm ready to do whatever I have to do. If I gotta start cooking marshmallows over a fire, I'll do it. I don't want to right now, but I'm not. It's not happening. I want the Renaissance. I don't want this evil world. They're going to run out of room. They're already running out of room. It's not 50-50. It's not like 50% of people want it. 50%. It's like a small percentage of people run the show. A small percentage of loser bloggers live in New York City and they hate themselves. They hate their life. They drink too much wine. They're on drugs and they have this powerful position where they tell everybody how to act, even though they're disgusting and can't take care of their own lives. And somehow they have positions at major news publications where they'll publish these disgusting people's voices. And that's who's making you seem like they're so popular. They're not popular. Nobody even likes them. Joe Rogan gets like hundreds of millions of listeners. Nobody listens to these people. Their little illusion is like they wear suits and they're like, we're so popular. No one likes them. So don't think it's like everybody's against you. Most people are just doing what they're told. Most people, if they said stop, they'd stop tomorrow. It's not like 50% of people are against you. It's a small percentage of people and everybody's just a follower. But here's the beautiful part of life. If you're not a follower, you get to create your own reality. On my website, usaproductsonly.com, please check it out. There's all usaproductsonly.com. And also, we're looking for more businesses. If you have a business made in the USA Products Only, let us know. We'll add you. But anyway, there's so many people running businesses, woodworkers. It's like, you don't have to be a follower. You can, but if you're a follower, make sure you're following the right person. Because if you're following the wrong leader, the wrong person, then you're going in the wrong path. But you don't have to. It's not like 50% of the world's against you. It's like everybody's just going along with the norm. And then the people who want to do something and work on something and be persistent, I'm seeing, it's not like I'm just doing so great and everyone's doing terrible. I see thousands of people every day doing something I never even thought of doing, that they're having huge success and making thousands of sales with a product I've never even heard of before. So everything's available. It's not easy. Nothing's easy. But if you're persistent and dedicated and grateful and optimistic, you don't have to, you don't have to follow these people. And if enough people break out of that box, I'm not going to Australia. I don't know who thinks we're going. I'm not going to Australia. I'm not going to Canada. America's not going to be Canada. If California turns into that, I'll do what I can to stand my ground. If I can't, if something gets so bad that it turns into like World War II era oppression, then I'm going to go. And I don't want to go. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't even think about too. I can't say where your family's from. Some people were born here. Some people have been here for hundreds of years. But my family's from Italy, Puerto Rico, Poland. At a certain point, they came to America. They didn't want to, but it was like times were tough and they had to make a move for their family and future generations. Life's not supposed to be easy. If I have to move or things get crazy, I'm not even worried about it because life has been really good for a really long time for me, for everyone else. And this country's been really good for the last couple of decades and we've enjoyed it. And I'm forever grateful for every moment I got when things weren't crazy. So if things get crazy, it's like I can't just sit on the couch and feel bad for myself. Like maybe I have to move, just like my ancestors moved at one point. People didn't want to escape communism. They didn't want to leave Cuba. They had to leave Cuba. People didn't want to leave Russia. They had to leave Russia. So at a certain point, like I don't know who told all of us that, oh my God, it's not going to be comfortable. It's not going to be easy, but I'm not bowing down to this tyranny. And if it comes here, I'll figure out what I have to do. I'm not trying to flee America, but in general, it's like it's gonna be a journey. And in my perspective, the way they get away with this is because so many people are so scared, so scared of COVID, so scared of this, so scared of that, so scared of the tyrants, so scared, doesn't matter if you're left wing or right wing, you like the jab or not. They control people off of fear. I'm afraid of the tyrants. I'm afraid of Fauci and what he might do. I'm afraid of Australia. Well, I'm afraid of Joe Rogan and horse to worm. I'm afraid of. Just don't be afraid of all these. Like, that's how they get people. And then everyone just sits there and they're like, when you do something that's not like them, they're like, oh my God, I'm so afraid for you. Oh my God, what am I going to do? It's like, I don't know. What are you going to do? What am I going to do? I don't know. I'm here. I'm standing in front of a camera right now. I'll turn it off. Maybe, Larry Elder wins the election in California. Maybe he loses the election. Gavin Newsom wins and, Gavin Newsom gets psychotic. But I'm not just going to sit and run in circles. I feel like that's what people do sometimes. Like, not everyone, but like if Gavin Newsom passes a bill and it says, anomaly, you have 20 days or you're going to be forced vaccinated. This is not what I'm going to do. What's going on? I don't know. It's like, what am I don't. Yeah, if it's bad, then I gotta go somewhere. I don't know. I don't have time to feel bad for myself. I don't have time to like complain about it. It's like, then it's go time. That's what I feel like people are doing. Like I log into Instagram and that's my messages. Not all the time, because there's a lot of great messages. Like, anomaly, what about the bill? The bill. I'm like, what about the bill? They're like, it's coming. It's coming. I'm like, when's it? Where is it? It's in the thing. Where's it coming? It's gonna be here any day. Holy shit! I'm like, I'm at the beach. I don't want to read this message right now. I'm straight. That's fine. Is it coming still? Oh no, they canceled it, but they're gonna bring it back next year. When next year? I don't know, but it could pass. It's like, it might pass. It might not pass. I'm not going to run in circles for a year and a half. What if it passes? Then you better have a freaking really fun time this next year. Enjoy California before they ruin it. Why are you going to run in circles and scream on Instagram for freaking 3 years? Maybe that bill will pass next year. Maybe it won't. But everybody who complained about it 2 months ago, it's not even passing yet. And if they pass it, I don't even think people are going to listen to it. And if people do listen to it, then you got to get your ass and go somewhere. I don't know. I don't have it in me to I don't know what to do. People are like, but be afraid with me. Be afraid. My mom's afraid because she listens to Rachel Maddow. I'm afraid because I watch Fox News. It's like, I'm not afraid of this stuff. I don't know what to tell you. I've been scared in my life. There's been it's not like I'm immune to fear, but I'm not going to run circles on. We got to have fun. We got to figure out solutions. And at a certain point, I don't know. I left Los Angeles and it was a fantastic decision. As far as what happens next, I don't know. Someone said, check your basement. Oh no, Joe Biden's in the basement. He's sucking on lollipops and slurping up, chocolate chip ice cream. It's disgusting. It's like, dude, eat something else. Joe Biden, it's like he hasn't had real food in months. I have to say this is a parody before I say it, because they'll be like, fact check, Joe Biden does eat bananas. He doesn't. It's like, I'm just joking, but it's like Joe Biden, he just keeps eating ice cream. Like, Joe, you got to eat real food. He's like, I look so good with my aviators eating ice cream. We just keep doing this for MSNBC. They're like, Joe, your approval ratings are going down. You didn't do a good job in Afghanistan. People are seeing through the lies. He's like, no, they're not. Just keep eating ice cream and just keep filming it. They're like, Joe, you gotta eat like a protein or something, dude. You can't just eat dairy. It's inflaming your throat. He's like, no, I got the vaccine. Trust me, I'm fully vaccinated. I got 3. And they're like, Joe, there's more to health than just taking the vaccine. You can't just eat ice cream. No, I'm vaccinated. Trust me, I'm fine. It's like, no, Joe, you gotta eat like chicken or something. That's not really happening. I have to say that, or else they'll be like, oh my God, it's misinformation. No, misinformation is Rachel Maddow's Twitter, where she posted a fake article and it's still up. How come she doesn't get fact checked? Because they're not trying to check the facts. They're pushing an agenda, and if they can manipulate it in a certain direction, it's like, they're like a snake on the Nokia. Someone said Missouri. We love Missouri here. Have I ever tried to get on Joe Rogan Experience? I mean, have I tried really hard? No. Would I love to go on? For sure. But I don't want to invite myself on. I have a lot of mutual friends. If Joe is inspired to have me on, I would love that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm waiting for the call, but I have to say every day, God is great, and certain people reveal themselves and say cool things and stuff. So when that moment comes, I'd love to talk to Joe Rogan. Yesterday on my Instagram, if you go to my last story, Kelly Slater, he's the best surfer ever, the number one surfer of all time. He commented something really cool on my last video, which I thought was pretty cool. So there's a lot of people that are very brave and willing to use their platforms to speak out and such. And I just kind of do my thing. And if people come to where I see them, I'm like, but I don't like go out of my way to look to talk to Joe Rogan, because I don't know how to do that. Email him or something. I don't know. He's hopefully he's inspired to just talk to me at some time, or he wants to, but I don't ask for favors or anything. And I would say, I'm not going to be petty, but I'm like, I've always been, I feel like in sports and in life and in general, I've always been underrated. Like, I feel like I was good at certain things and coaches, etc. I always felt like I was overlooked, and I use that to my advantage, not in like a selfish way, but rap, etc. I've had people have said, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do that. A lot of people have felt this way, but, so I'm not only inspired off of what's going on, I try to put out good information, but I almost try to fuel off the negative energy. I know a lot of people say stuff. I know a lot of people overlook and don't want to work with me. I don't really care. I'm just trying to keep making great content, and I feel like I get fueled off that. Like, for instance, there's a lot of conservative leaning events. They never book me. They never book me for speaking, even though I could speak. They never book me for music. They go out of their way to book me. I don't want to call out names, but one time somebody asked me to promote their event, and they don't like me now. They think I'm so rude or something. They asked me, hey, Anomaly, can you promote my event? They had like 5 musicians performing, and it's not like they couldn't have had me perform. These weren't like huge musicians. They were like not huge musicians. But anyway, they were like, can you promote the event? I'm like, if you want me to promote your conservative event, why don't you just book me to speak or book me to rap, and then I'll promote it? They wouldn't book me, but then tried to use my platform to get people to buy their tickets. Like, how arrogant could these people be? That's how people treat me. And it's like, I don't even care. And then they're like, oh, you're so pompous. I'm like, bro, who does that? You got 5 artists that nobody's ever heard of. I could probably sell more tickets to them. And then you ask me to promote your event because no one's buying tickets or not enough. And you're not even paying me or booking me to speak there. People just act like that way to me all the time. So I just got to keep flexing on them, where I'm like, I got unlimited hits. I'm not running out. I don't have a production team. I don't have a studio. I don't have a writer. It's all me. That's why people are like, Anomaly keeps dropping classics, because there is no team. I am the team. You're the team. People sharing are the team. There is no like big money behind it. I'm just doing it. So I got classics on classics. These people want to treat me like that. I love it. I'm like, I don't even want to go. But if you want to take it serious, so eventually I'm going to have to do my own tour. I'm going to have to do my own speaking tour, because nobody wants, they're like, and I'm like, that's fine. You want to play that way? It reminds me of being 15 on the basketball court. Oh, you don't want to put me on the A team? Then I got to flex on them. I lead the team in assists and points. Well, you're still not good enough. All right, then I gotta do this. Then I play soccer. You can't do that. I'm always like, okay, I'm like a kid in the candy store. Oh, I can't do that. Now I got to do that. They told Muggsy Bogues, you're too small. The dude was like 5'4". He made the NBA. You can't do that. You're too small. That's how I feel. I'm not small, but I'm just saying in general, it's like these people. Okay, now we gotta raise the bar here. Now we gotta raise the bar here. Someone said you brighten my day with your animation and information. Prayers and loves from South Carolina. Thank you, Cheryl. I appreciate it. God bless you. God bless South Carolina. Someone said, damn, that's cold, was it? I'm not naming names. I'm not a drama queen. I don't like to talk about business and stuff, but it's like I'm running out of room of people who've mistreated me, but I don't even care, because it's like it all happens for a reason. So I don't need to walk through every door. I don't need to be everywhere. I'm very content just doing my own thing. I live a great life, but it's like, how long are they going to pretend like they don't know who I am? You think people don't want to hear me speak at their events? It's okay. We'll do our own event. We'll make an Anomaly cruise line. It'll be me, Mickey Mouse, Goofy. We'll have a great time, but Disney will probably sue us, so we won't do that, but we'll figure it out. Someone said they screwed you on Instagram on Sunday. It was a disappointment. Yeah, no, he's a great guy. They're all great people. It was miscommunication / just not really smart planning, but it doesn't matter. It's all good. Those are all cool people on the Instagram live. Very informative, etc. Just, they didn't really plan it very well and didn't really handle it well. But it's not even a thing to me. They're awesome people. And they mean well. So I have no problem with anyone there. They're all great people doing great work, and just a little fumble. It's okay. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate it. Do a cruise with Zuby? We'd probably crush a cruise. Someone said the live was just bad planning. Yeah, it's not a big deal. It was what it was, but it's all good. Those are great people, and there's nothing wrong with anyone there. Anarchy Cruise with Zuby. He loves a good anarchy. That's the name of our song. Someone said Fidel Trudeau. Yeah, what's going on in Canada? I'm sorry you guys got shitty politicians. Thank you, Joanne. Anomalies Madagascar cruises? Maybe. We'll figure it out. What's my thoughts on Australia? It's crazy what's happening there. I don't know what else to really say. It's definitely a crazy, crazy thing. What's my take on Dr. Zog? I don't know. I don't even know who that is. Australia needs you. I would love to go to Australia one day, but I can't. I can only do as much as I can from my computer. I don't know what else I could do. When am I dropping a new song? Soon. I recorded a song. I just need to get it mixed now. So I have a new song that's recorded. It's pretty good. I think people will like it. Generals, I don't know. People are asking me. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. All right, let's end on a good note, a good comment. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll through Facebook. Let's see if anybody said anything good. Someone said, I want to go on a cruise. What's a good cruise line? Well, they all suck now because they're all doing masking and vaccines and stuff, so it's annoying. This is a good one. I like this personally. Someone said it's September 8th. Where the F is Trump? Pillowman told me August 100%. Yo, I kind of want to make a video on it. I don't want to be mean. We're going to end on this note. But Mike Lindell, super nice guy. We always like to compliment people. Nice mustache. He's got a killer mustache. He should make his mustache into a pillow and call it my mustache. And just, you could sleep on Mike Lindell's mustache. But he constantly is like a false prophet predicting a date. And then he always says he doesn't do it. I have clips saved on my phone because I just think it's hilarious. People get so mad at me because it's like Trump. It's like Jesus, Trump, Mike Lindell. It's going down the back. Like, you're better off talking trash on Moses than Mike Lindell. People get pissed off. But anyway, I have 5 clips of him predicting that Trump's going to be back. And then when it doesn't happen, he's like a pathological, I never said that. He's like, come on, that's the media smearing me. And I'm like, Mike, the media does smear you, but you do keep predicting that he comes back and he's wrong every time. But then he acts like he never said it. I'm like, bro, I got the clips. It only took me a couple of minutes. I went and found every clip of him saying August, Trump's coming back in January. I'm 100% sure, for real. He'll be back there. Trust me. And then when it doesn't happen, he's like, oh, no, I never said that. He's like, the damn media's after me. I'm like, dude, you got to stop doing that. Because I feel bad because I don't want to pick on boomers. We love our boomers here. But boomers love Mike Lindell. They trust him like a pastor. And he just keeps doing that. It's people come up to me like, do you follow this person? And I'm like, I'm not the arbiter of who people follow. I don't follow everyone, and I don't care who people follow. But I feel bad because some people are like, I follow them, and I'm like, that person's not Mike, but other people. And I'm like, I've seen them, and they're not really accurate. They're half accurate, but they get people in these rabbit holes and just lead them in the wrong directions. And I don't want to overstep because it's like, I don't have a monopoly on anything. I'm a guy with a freaking channel. You could watch whatever the hell you want. I don't judge, but I do feel bad that so many people are getting caught with these certain leaders that are just fooling them all the time. And I'm like, man, it's not my place to really say, but at the same time, I'm like, they're like, I'm like, yo, it's time to get a promo code 66% off, my mustache, mymustache.com. I don't know if that's a thing, but whatever. I got to make a video on it. I'm thinking about it, but Guitarologist said I follow no man. It's cool to watch people, but yeah, when people get very religious around certain humans, and it's not the play. But I have all the clips saved on my phone. It's pretty funny because he's like, I'm sure. He's like, it's coming in August. It's coming. It's coming here. And then like he did it like 6 times. And then he's like, oh, it's the media. He's like, the media keeps saying I said August. I never said August. I was like, bro, stop lying, dude. Like, it doesn't matter if you're a Christian or you're right wing. Like, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody lies sometimes, but like, you gotta stop. You gotta stop lying. It's so funny to me, but I don't like to talk about it. Seriously, to me, it's like Jesus, Trump, Mike Lindell, but a lot of people put Trump and Mike Lindell like close or above Jesus. We're like, you're better off being like, yeah, I don't agree with the first half of the Bible. They're like, no, it makes sense. It's old. It's Old Testament, whatever. And they're like, yeah, but Mike Lindell, they're like, okay, damn it. They're like, I was with you when you talked about Zionism. I was with you when you questioned, Revelation, but how dare you? Nah, Mike Lindell's off limits. You could question the homosexual, passage in the Old Testament. You could question like first half of the Bible, but do not question promo code 66% off. That's just crossing the line. But I get it though. That's why I try to mind my P's and Q's. I get it. We all love someone. Someone said he said August. I know I have the clips on my phone of him saying August, I'm sure, August, I'm sure. And then after August passed, he's like, I never said August. I said maybe in August I'm going to give the information and people will take my information and do something. I'm like, Mike, that's not what you said, bro. I have the clips. But I don't want to, people get so, I make a freaking, excuse my language. If you go through my page, I've made over 100 videos defending Donald Trump. Seriously, I think I have more videos defending Donald Trump against media lies than anybody ever. And then I make like 1 or 2 videos saying that he sounds like a used car salesman. And my gosh, I got more backlash than liberals. It's like Trump is a religion now. It's like, they're like, you're a Democrat. Why would a Democrat make the videos? It doesn't even make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. Joe Biden, either you're Trump or you're Biden. Who are you? Who the hell are you, Anomaly? Are you a Trumper or a Bidener? I'm like, dude, you're 55 years old or you're 35 years old. You're way too old to be acting like you're freaking at Camp Jeremy with Donald Trump. I'm like, that's not my world. Doesn't revolve around. Like, guys, I voted for Trump, but I just 1 or 2 videos explaining why I don't like what he's doing. And people act like I'm a Joe Biden operative. Like, seriously, some people are like, you better not be working for those Democrats. Watch the last 100 videos I make. Nothing in there correlates with anything that they're doing at any time, like in any sort of way that would help them out at all, ever. But just because I make one, I'm afraid to make, I'm not literally afraid, but because I'm not that scared. But like, if I make a Mike Lindell video, I'm going to have like pissed off boomers in my messages. Like, God damn it. Excuse my language. I don't want to say the Lord's name in vain, but I'm just saying they're going to say this to me. They're like, we know what you're doing. Joe Biden sent you to do this, didn't he? To sow division amongst me and Mike Lindell. If they could break up Mike Lindell, then the deep state has, they're going to get away. If me and Mike Lindell are going to stop the deep state with frankspeech.com. And I'm like, I just wanted to make this video, but I got to really be careful because promo code 66% off. People get very, very testy. So do not say Mike Lindell's name in vain. They'll say grifter. I don't care what people say, but it doesn't really bother me. It's just kind of funny / disappointing when it's people that are like, I've watched you for 4 years, but now because of that one video, damn it, they're like, you're a bad man, Donald Trump. And the crazy part is this too. I played in the Trump video, I played the clip for 2.5 minutes. I usually don't play clips that long. If you watch most of my pages, I play clips for 1 minute, 2 minutes. I don't take it out of context. I don't like chop up clips out of context, but like I'm not just showing the whole video all the time. So I showed more of the Trump video. Like, you took it out of context. I was like, no, I didn't. I played it all the way through. And also later in the video, I talk about the booster shots. I know he talked about it, and I included that in the video just so people couldn't say I didn't include that part. It's just like, you framed him. I'm like, he really said that, and I don't agree. I don't have to agree. I don't have to agree with everything he does all the time. I'm even interested. He's announcing, this is actually pretty epic. Him and Trump Jr. are apparently announcing Evander Holyfield's fight, which is very cool. I like that. I'm just curious, is he going to sell vaccines the whole time, or is he going to like announce the fight? If he announces the fight and it's just like classic Trump, epic. If he's like, I did the vaccines, Moderna, it's like, bro, stop her. You know, it's like he's like Mr. Pharma salesman. I don't like it. So I'm curious if he's going to do that during the fight, because I hope he doesn't. I hope he like, you know, he moves on to like being himself again, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll probably try to listen to it. Someone said he lost me at Space Force. It's funny because everyone loves Space Force. I was skeptical for multiple reasons. Like, one, I've done videos on space where I know, I'm not going to say I know more than, like, there's scientists who know more, but like most people know nothing about space. I've done a lot of research on NASA. I've done a lot of research on like where things are. So Trump's like, space, everyone's like, F yeah, Space Force. And I'm like, I don't know, new government agency, like, you know, adding another branch. Like, it sounds good, but, you know, like, I don't know, we're fighting China in space or something. I don't know. I didn't take the bait on that either. People are like, F yeah, Space Force. I'm like, I don't know. It's like, you know what we really need to do? Fight China on the moon. They're like, exactly. They're like, it's exactly what needs to happen. We need to fight China on Mars with Elon. And I'm like, I mean, it's definitely good to go higher than people and have your military, you know, have angles. Like, I'm all for having a complex military, but I wasn't like diving into Space Force like everyone else. Everyone's like, no, trust me. The anomaly. If we don't get leverage on Pluto, they're like, we're not going to be able to beat Kim Jong-un. I'm like, I don't know. This seems like sneaky government, like agency sort of thing. But like, yeah, maybe that's what we need to do. We need to go to Pluto and fight, you know, Iran on Pluto. I mean, that, you know, it's definitely an option. But I get it. I don't know. I was skeptical of the Space Force thing too. Now it's in the hands of Kamala Harris. So this brand new branch of the military is now in the hands of cackling Kamala. Isn't that interesting? You make a big government thing, we brag about it, get conservatives to agree with it, and now it's in the hands of slow Joe Biden and cackling Kamala. But I'm not an expert on space military, so do not take my word for it. I'm simply just talking out of my, you know what? Someone said plutonian. There's communists on Pluto, damn it. ISIS. ISIS is in a different galaxy. You got to give $50 billion to NASA. It's like, yeah, fuck, yeah. Excuse my language. Yeah. NASA's running out of money. They only have like $20-30 billion a year. And, you know, they can't even go back to the moon, or apparently they taped over the space tape or sold it at a garage sale or gave it to an intern. We're not really sure. The story changed like 5 times, but NASA needs more money. And the only way to stop radical Islamic terrorism in a different galaxy, the Milky Way, is just filled with radical Islamic terrorism. Some say ISIS is out there. Others say ISIS doesn't even have their own like Air Force right now, but they could technically. Fauci says there's a sign of Iran and ISIS on the Milky Way. So we need to give $50 billion of taxpayer money to NASA, because the only way to fight ISIS on Mars is if NASA gets more of your money. They need your tax money, trust me. So we're just going to hike taxes a little bit. Space Force. How much does NASA get a year? I got to get off before I get in trouble, but let's see. NASA budget, let's see. You got to love them. NASA's budget is $23.3 billion. Let's see. Space Force budget. Space Force budget 2021. Oh, it's part of it. 17.4 billion. I don't know. Whatever. It's very necessary. Someone said wrong thought process. Imagine if all the satellites were taken out. No, what I'm saying is I understand the benefit of being high up in the air. I understand like the military strategy of being higher. You know, you'd want to be on a mountain. You'd want to be as high up as you could. I'm just saying I don't know what they even say that they're doing versus like I'm just very skeptical of certain things. Like once they go up to a certain point, the stories don't always add up. So I get what you're saying. Listen, it's the same as like even in Afghanistan. I don't like to invade other countries for sure. I'm not a military guy, but at the same time, I'm not a moron. So if you're a country, you need allies. You do need at a certain point, you do want presence in certain areas. You don't want to start a 50-year war in the middle of nowhere, but at the same time, it is strategic. I'm not someone who's like, we shouldn't have bases everywhere. It's great to have bases. I guess when it comes to what we're doing, it just sucks that the people running it have lost a lot of people's trust. You know, I wouldn't mind giving tax money to fund the military if I thought it was working. But now they're putting masks on military members and forcing vaccines. And, you know, taxes were supposed to be at one point temporary. You know, that's kind of more my thing. Someone said China announced they have technology to shoot a satellite out of orbit back in 2009 or something. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of it's true. I guess it's not. I like to just joke about it because I think it's funny, but I'm not saying I don't think we should do nothing. Like, yeah, we should only be on the ground. Like, no, it's definitely good to be in the air. I just don't trust Joe Biden and Kamala. And to be fair, I don't even like Trump's not going to be there forever. So whatever he builds and creates will be passed on to the next guy. That's it. I understand the, you know, strategic advantage to having technology, you know, fast missiles, like good satellites and technology to do that stuff. I just wanted to make fun of it because I thought it was funnier to do that. But God bless you guys. Appreciate you. Have a good day. And two things real quick before I leave. Telegram is t.me/dreamrarechat. I think we're at 50,000 people on Telegram. Thank you guys. Every time I go live, I post it like 5-10 minutes before on Telegram, and all my new videos are on there. I don't spam at all. So it's probably one of the least annoying Telegrams you can be part of. Maybe not. Maybe there's less annoying ones. But also usaproductsonly.com is my website that I'm trying to build, etc. It's starting out slow, but I think we have over 170 businesses now. And we're trying to start a database of all USA products, made products, and more importantly than even the big USA businesses, smaller businesses that are underrated that we could get some traffic to. So we're looking for more. We've gone through most of the emails. If you haven't, or you know somebody that has a USA made business with USA products, please email us. Go to usaproductsonly.com. Check it out. And we're looking for new submissions. We're trying to have like 1,000 businesses. So we're building that. USA Products Only, my Telegram, and these hats are not there, but the white hats, godblesshats.com. Thank you to everybody wearing them. I've been seeing them at protests and people's profile pictures and stuff. So very, very cool. I appreciate it. And they're cool hats. They're very nice hats and very cool hats. So I guess I'm proud of those products. Like they came out good. So thank you guys for buying those at godblesshats.com. Be back soon and check out my video from yesterday if you haven't. It's my best one in a while.